Subtopic natin ay appraisal right. Yung appraisal right, yan yung right to withdraw. Ng stockholder. Kung i-compare natin sa partnership to, yung partner, yung kanyang right to withdraw ay parang absolute yan. Dahil sa trust and confidence rule. You cannot compel a partner to stay with the partnership kung wala ng trust and confidence. Yung appraisal right na topic dito, yan yung right to withdraw ng ating stockholder. Pero very limited lang yung grounds or instances. Parang pinoprotect masyado ng law yung trust fund doctrine na hindi ganyan kadali na isoli lang ng corporation yung investment ng kanyang stockholder. Baka to the prejudice yan of its creditors. So ano yung mga grounds? Later, makikita mo yan sa A, B, C, D, E. Bago ma-exercise yung appraisal right, dapat merong corporate action voted upon by the stockholders. At yung particular stockholder voted no. At yung yes vote ay nanalo. Tapos there must be a valid ground. Yung valid ground, yan na yan yung sa A, B, C, D. Merong particular corporate action voted upon. Kasi para ma-exercise yung appraisal right, dapat dissenting stockholder siya. So merong particular corporate action to which the stockholder voted no. And of course, dapat nanalo yung yes. Kasi kung nanalo yung no, wala nang reason to exercise the appraisal right. And yung valid ground, yung ground lang provided for by law under A, B, C, or D. Under number 1. Tingnan natin yung number 1. Any stockholder of a corporation shall have the right to dissent. Right to dissent. So, dissenting stockholder, nag-vote ng no. So, kung walang corporate action na pinavote sa stockholders, walang opportunity to exercise the appraisal right and demand payment of the fair value of the shares in the following instances. Very limited lang yung grounds, no? A, B, C, or D. Yung sa letter A, amendment ng articles, pero on specific matters. Hindi lahat ng amendment ng articles of incorporation pwedeng mag-exercise ng appraisal right. So, ano yan? Yung na-mention sa letter A. In case an amendment to the articles of incorporation has the effect of changing or restricting the rights of any stockholder. So, tungkol sa rights ng stockholder or class of shares or of authorizing preference in any respect superior to those of outstanding shares of any class. So, as long as meron siyang relation dun sa rights ng stockholders and yung amendment extending or shortening corporate term. So, yun lang yung mga grounds ng amendments doon ng Articles of Incorporation na pwedeng mag-exercise ng appraisal right. Letter B. In case of sale, lease, exchange, transfer, mortgage, pledge, or other disposition of all, very important, all, or substantially all of the corporate property and the assets as provided in the corporation code. In case of merger or consolidation, pwede. In case of investment of corporate funds for any purpose other than the primary purpose of the corporation. Say for example, yung corporation is engaged in grocery business. Pero nag-invest siya doon sa fish pond business. Medyo malayo sa primary purpose niya, which is grocery business. Bigyan natin ng chance yung stockholder na umalis sa corporation. Baka takot siya doon sa fish pond business. So, yun yung mga grounds A, B, C, or D, wherein a stockholder can exercise his appraisal right. The dissenting stockholder who votes against a proposed corporate action, ang vote nga ng no, may exercise the right of appraisal by making a written demand on the corporation for the payment of the fair value of shares held within 30 days from the date on which the vote was taken. 30 days from the date on which the vote was taken. Failure to make the demand within such period shall be deemed a waiver of the appraisal right. If the proposed corporate action is implemented, the corporation shall pay the shareholder upon surrender of the certificate of stock representing the stockholder shares, the fair value thereof as of the day before the vote was taken. Day before the vote was taken, excluding any appreciation or depreciation in anticipation of such corporate action. So, fair value as of the day before the vote was taken. Yung question, who determines the fair value? Or how is the fair value determined? Nakikita natin yan or masasagot yan ng number 2. Determination of the fair value of the shares. Generally, the corporation and the stockholder exercising appraisal rights shall agree. So, pag-usapan nila on the fair value of the shares. Kung hindi sila mag-agree, what will happen? Next paragraph. If within 60 days from the approval of the corporate action by the stockholders, the withdrawing stockholder and the corporation cannot agree on the fair value of the shares, it shall be determined and appraised by 3 disinterested persons or 3 independent persons. Or pwede nating tawagin 3 independent appraisers. Sino yung mag-a-appoint ng appraisers? One of whom shall be named by the stockholder and another by the corporation, and the third one by the 2 thus chosen. Ano ba ibig sabihin yan? Yung isa will be appointed by the stockholder. Another one will be appointed by the corporation. And the third one will be appointed by the appraisers appointed by them. So, yan yung mangyayari. The findings of the majority of the appraiser shall be final, and the reward shall be paid by the corporation within 30 days after such award is made. Final. yung finding ng appraisers. No payment shall be made to any dissenting stockholder unless the corporation has unrestricted retained earnings. So yung payment ng fair value ng shares dito must be supported by enough URE or unrestricted retained earnings. Pinoprotect na naman ng law yung trust fund doctrine na kung wala namang unrestricted retained earnings dito, baka prejudicial yan sa interest na ng creditors. Next page. Number 3, effect of demand and termination of right. From the time of the demand for payment of the fair value of a stockholder shares until either the abandonment of the corporate action involved or the purchase of the said shares by the corporation, so until abandonment or purchase of said shares, all rights accruing to such shares, including voting and dividend rights, shall be suspended, except the right of such stockholder to receive payment of the fair value thereof. So, meron siyang matitirang right of such stockholder to receive payment of the fair value thereof. Yan ay appraisal right. Yan yung ine-exercise niya. Yan yung matitira sa kanya. Ano ibig sabihin ng from the time of demand for payment until the abandonment or purchase? From the time of demand to abandonment of particular corporate action or purchase of the shares, suspended yung lahat ng rights ng stockholder except yung ine-exercise niya, yung appraisal right. Ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng abandonment or until abandonment of the particular corporate action? Kung inabandon yung particular corporate action, the stockholder will be restored to his rights. Hindi natuloy yung corporate action. So, he can no longer exercise his appraisal right. So, marirestore na siya doon sa rights niya. Yung purchase, binayaran na siya ng fair value of shares. He is no longer a stockholder. So, wala nang rights na matitira sa kanya. So, yan yung abandonment or purchase. If the dissenting stockholder is not paid the value of the shares within 30 days after the award, his voting and dividend rights shall immediately be restored.